Good morning, Friday, July 3rd, day before the 4th of July. Happy Friday. Appreciate y'all for tuning in early. Anybody that is here already. Not a whole lot of y'all in here yet. Seems like a lot of people are off work. I don't think we're going to have too big of a stream, if we're being honest. But I appreciate all y'all for showing up. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Let's see here. What up? To Swayze, and then Cranddaddy said, did my homework earlier. Two slips. TJ Abrams, Ben Rice, Nick Kurtz. Curtis Mead, JJ Bleday, TJ Ramyandi, Liam Hicks, Royce Lewis, Nelson. Oh, that's a lot of names in that second one. Morning, B2. All right. Here before I start my route, let's lock in. Let's go. Not everybody's off work today, including myself. Here. Good morning, Dee. What are we working with today? We do have a 6 out of 6 due. Wow. Colton Cowser here going up against Brady Singer, although Brady Singer, I think he's been pretty good. All right, so we do have a 6 out of 6 due in Colton Cowser. We'll have to look into that. If I forget to mention that, somebody keep me on it. I'll put him on there just so I remember to go back to him. Cody Clemens, Josh Bell, Caratini. Let's look at just people with the drought score. Casey Schmidt, Vargas, Caminero. This is hilarious. Caminero has a drought score. Yo, Chop Suey with the prime resub. I appreciate that. I know Caminero didn't hit a homer yesterday. He somehow still has a drought score because his median gap between homers is 4 balls in play. That's insane. Trammell. Curtis Mead. Okay, there's your Mead. All right. We're with 33, about 34 on the board. Yesterday there were not many. Pretty light day yesterday. I mean, there were only 9 games. I think I had 27 projected. There were 25, so pretty close. How am I going to get tagged first, AB? Yo, good morning, Visionary. Good morning, Stefan. Look, man, Miz is human just like everybody else. Not going to have a perfect outing every time. Also, like I said, Ben saying this heat wave's no joke, man. I feel like any pitchers could have a bad day. Like if they're going to have a bad day, it would be during this heat wave for sure. For sure. Yeah, he got kind of rocked around yesterday on the homers. To be fair, though, props to Sal Stewart, man. That was a 103-mile-an-hour pitch that he hit. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Like, bro hit a 103-mile-an-hour ball. Contact rate on those pitches is like 0%. So, shout out Sal Stewart. Made a play, man. He made a play. Derby in the Cubs game. I mean, I feel like it could be a derby anywhere today, honestly. This weather. Let's see here. Okay, maybe not in the Cubs game. Looks like actually some rain. Sure, the roof was closed. Yeah, I had some family that was at the game. They said it was miserable how hot it was in there. They were sitting in their seats dying. Like they were just felt like they were in a sauna. 100 degrees, roof closed, heat blowing in, no AC. Yeah. I'm sure it's not fun playing. I am sure it is not fun. All right. I want to try something out here. 98, 97, 89, 94, 88. Jesus, 85, 86, 69. There you go. Anaheim looks kind of nice tonight. Pretty humid, though. 64, 95 in Arizona, and the roof is closed, too. That's going to be a very similar. At least it's dry heat, not too humid. This one looks pretty solid. 79 degrees, not too hot. Then Dodgers as well. Very humid, but not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, the only one that has any sort of chance of rain here is Cubs. First game of the day. Really the only one that has any sort of chance of rain. I wrote down a filter that I want to test with y'all too here on the list builder, but let's just go through some of these real quick. Hot combo. I added 4% home run rate on the pitch. So we're looking for players who are hitting the ball pretty well versus pitches that are getting smoked. Junior on there. Junior against Arrighetti on the four-seam fastball. Gotta throw him on there. Owen Casey. Disappointment yesterday for a lot of people there. Still looks pretty good on this four-seam fastball against Jack Perkins. Jordan against Nick Martinez. Change-up sinker. Francisco Alvarez against Grant Holmes. I think we're going to see a lot of Mets today. I do think we're going to see a lot of Mets today. Would not be surprised. Oh, B. Brown in here with the weather report. Great hitting weather. Delay from either batch. Yikes. Okay. We'll still play it, but don't really love the chance of a delay. Once again, for those of you who are like, why would you care about a delay? Well, worst case scenario is we're taking these plays based off pitching matchups. There's a delay in the third inning, fourth inning. Those pitchers don't come back in the game. It becomes a bullpen game from there. So that's the risk. That's the concern. Yeah, here's some more Mets here. Now here we're looking at ISO over 200 with a home run rate over 3%, but a high fly ball rate on the pitch. Low ground ball rate for the batter with a decent line drive. Good exit velocity and pull fly ball, at least one pull fly ball of their fly balls. So Soto's on there, Lindor's on there, Gunner's on there against Brady Singer too. And then we get into some weird ones like Corbin Carroll versus Kyle Harrison, probably not interested. Naylor versus Cease, probably not. Brett Beatty, probably not. Arenado versus Harrison. But Lindor and Soto against Grant Holmes. Four-seam and slider is getting smoked for Grant Holmes. Yeah, we're going to have some Mets on there today for sure. We are going to have some Mets on here. Let's see if anybody's in a good bounce back spot today. Any hitters in a good bounce back spot? %56% precipitation is not a lot. Did you know how precipitation works? It's not that there's a 56% chance to rain. That's actually not how it works, which I thought was kind of mind-boggling. Precipitation percent, when it says like 56% chance or 56% precipitation, it means the area. 56% of the area is going to get rain. Not 56% chance that it rains overall. It just means 56% of the city is going to get rain. Or like the area that it's measuring. So it means it's going to rain. It just means that there's, I guess a 50-50 chance that the field gets rained on. Shohei, Josh Bell here, interesting, against Garrett Cole. I'm going to throw Josh Bell on there. Bounce back spot. Actually did not know that. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's how weather works. I mean, I figured that out a few years ago, but I was mind blown too. I was like, what do you mean that's how it works? It'd be way more intuitive if it was just like 56% chance overall that it rains. Kind of means there's a 56% chance you'll see rain in any given area. Yeah. Gonna be a Luis Garcia day? Could see that. I could see that. Ketel Marte in a bounce back spot on a four seam against a lefty. I kind of do like that. I'm gonna put that on there. Cedric Mullins, we had him yesterday. He's on a heater. Caratini. There's going to be some value for lefties against Garrett Cole today. I'm certain of it. So a lot of guys in a chance for a bounce back spot, including Shohei on a changeup. Yeah. All right. I added some new stuff here to the list builder too. Form trends. This is a little bit harder to explain, but let me try to explain it real quick. I think this is very helpful. So let's say we're looking at the last. Let me just start setting one up. So we'll go this. We'll go anything over 10% usage. We'll say anything with a I don't know 200 ISO. At least a 25% fly ball rate. Okay. This is saying last 5 versus the last 20. The delta for their hard hit, blast, barrel, at max EV, whatever. So I want to see nothing less than a 20% decline. So say over their last 20, their hard hit rate is 50%. I don't want to see anything less than 30% of their last 5. So it means that like if they were hot, because sometimes we're looking at StatCast, right? And we see further down on the StatCast, he had a really big green section, and then recently it's more red. Well, this takes into account those deltas. So I don't want to see his over his last 5, his hard hit go down 20% from the last 20. You can really grind in on that to make sure that like over the last 20 it looks good, but specifically within the last 5 it also looks good for all these different stats. So you can make sure guys who are doing well recently is on top of it. Let's look at like something with at least 60% hard hit. Nothing less than 40% hard hit in the last 5. So it just kind of evens out the trend, so it's not like one-sided old data that's really holding everybody up. Yeah, I want to see at least 20% blast. That's important to me. I really do like blast. I think it works well. Max ground ball. We don't want to see anything over, let's say 33%. No, let's just say 40%. 40% is fine. But then I want to see on the other side here, I don't want their blast to be down. It's fine. We can leave that there. We do want a max EV here. Someone who can at least smoke the ball. Let's put at least 105. And I think this should be good. Appreciate that, Kadavi. 10% if possible ground ball. What do you mean by that? Oh. Okay, so 6 batters meet this. Once again, 3 that we already liked. Casey, Soto, and Lindor. So if we go to their StatCast, right, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So you can see the last 20 here. What I was looking for is, okay, if their overall hard hit over their last 20 is 65%, we don't want that last 5 to be any lower than 45%. It's still 60%. So that's what that's looking at. That's what the delta means. So these last 5 are all still good relative to the whole last 20 in terms of hard hit. You can do that for blast, barrel, whatever, right? You can make sure that, like, yeah, their last 20 looks good, so you're looking at a larger sample size, which you want to do, but then you can also make sure that the last 5 looks good too. So that's the point there. Yeah, I like Casey, Soto, and Lindor so far. I really do. Let's look at these fresh form people. So this is a really small window of last 5 balls in play with a decent fly ball rate, minimum average exit velocity of at least 88%, max EV greater than 108. So they've hit one really, really hard. They have a good fly ball ratio. Well, here's Ben Rice. Someone mentioned Ben Rice earlier. Ben Rice on a four-seamer. Folsom Montgomery on a sinker. Nick Kurtz on a sinker. Casey on the four-seam. Cattell on the four-seam again. These are the guys in the last 5 who got some good performance. We'll throw Ben Rice on there as well against a four-seamer. 2 homers on it in his last 5 balls in play. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Look at the last 3 here. Ben and Woods could be. Could be. We'll see on Woods. I haven't looked at him yet. Or Wood. Everyone calls him Woods. Oh my God. Owen Casey again. Cattell Marte again. Here's Colton Cowser. Okay. Good starting point. I think I got a good starting point here. When you go into StatCast, how are you getting back to list builder without defaulting to back to reset? It opens a new tab, so I just go back to the old tab. Just tabs. So when you click that StatCast button, it opens a whole new tab. Go back to the old tab. You see right here. Actually, I'll show you. Right here, StatCast. It opens a new tab. So you can go back to the list. If you're using an iPad Pro, it doesn't open in a new window. Get on my phone. It did on my phone. Maybe that's because I made it into an app. I don't know. Let me see here. Let me see here. Yo, Angel Anthony Sr. with the streak. 5 stream streak. Could be like 40 plus. I know. It's all good. Okay. Let me click this. StatCast. On my phone, I hit StatCast. Watch me hit the back on the list again. Oh. I hit StatCast. I just swiped back and it went right back to the list. I don't know. I'll look into it though. If it keeps messing up, just let me know. Yeah. Okay. Cardinals Cubs. So once again, this one could have some delays, but we're gonna play it like it won't. This is actually also kind of on an island in terms of start time. This game is completely on an island in start time here. There's no real other games around it. Piante versus Peterson, 4:05 p.m. The next game starts basically after this one's over. So maybe this one gets delayed. Maybe. But David Peterson looked pretty decent. 5 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts only, but only 1 homer, only 2 earned runs against the Brewers in his first start with the Cubs. Wasn't so bad. On the year, he's working with a .86 HR per 9. We're projecting him today to go about 5 innings, almost 4 strikeouts, give up about 5 hits, 2 walks almost, a couple earned runs. For the money line people here, Cubs minus 116 or Cardinals plus 116 or better. Kind of where you want to take it. If you can get the Cardinals at like plus 120, Cardinals are a good bet. If you can get the Cubs at minus 120, Cubs are a good Cubs are a good bet at -120. So, on the year, we are looking at, actually, let's just look recently here. Righties and lefties, usage-wise, four-seam sinker, it throws everything to righties, throws everything except the changeup to lefties. Vulnerable pitches for him on the year, sinker and curveball to the lefties, to the righties, not so much anything. You got 200 ISO on that curveball, but if we go to the last 5 starts versus righties, four-seam sinker, really the sinker and mainly it's the sinker. Yeah, his sinker's been getting hit pretty good. It automatically show up in a new tab, Paleface. If it's not doing that for your iPad or something, I will make sure it does that. Ah, it's working. You were in full screen mode, not seeing it open in the new window. Yep. Yep. That'll do it. Now you know. So yeah, let's look at the righties here. Not too many of them. Jordan Walker finally got on the board yesterday, huh? Jordan Walker finally got on the board yesterday. Look at this guy's OPS just falling off a cliff. It had been quite some time since he did hit a home run. Like almost a month. Kind of crazy based on how he was starting out. Yeah, June 13th was his last one prior to this. We do see a little bit of everything here from him. Last 20, 70 hard hit. Last 5, still 60% hard hit. Last 10, 80. So he's hitting it hard. He's hitting lefties very hard. Fly ball rate is pretty much in the ground. That's his issue. His fly ball rate is in the ground, but his hard hit and his blast, pretty darn good. Paradox, yeah. Back when I used to have TikTok, found these guys. I don't. This line drive rate, going back to what we talked about yesterday, line drives are pretty indicative of guys about to get hot. Line drives are indicative of guys about to get hot, and his line drive rate against lefties specifically creeping up there, so I wouldn't sleep on Walker today. I said those exact words about Garrett Mitchell yesterday. I said I wouldn't sleep on Garrett Mitchell. He hit a homer. I wouldn't sleep on Walker today. I wouldn't sleep on him. I don't think he's a good price in the 200s, if I'm being completely honest. He is 2 for 4 with a homer against Peterson in the last 3 years. Wouldn't sleep on him for this game. Would not sleep on him for this game specifically, especially if you're just trying to hone in on just this game. You're not pairing it with anything later. Keep Walker on your radar here. Velasquez with a 5.3 pitch mix rating against lefties, 1,100 OPS with 3 homers. Last 10 here for Velasquez, 70 hard hits, 60 blast. Good fly ball line drive as well. Also, probably wouldn't sleep on Velasquez here. Although, here's the one thing. Last 20, 73% hard hit. Last 5, only 40% hard hit. So he's had a decline in hard hit against lefties over his last 5 balls in play. Comparatively, it's dropping down every time. You start with the last 20, he goes from 73. Last 10, he goes down to 60. Last 5, he goes down to 40. So he is declining. Herrera, the other righty on this squad, really nothing impressive right now. Line drive is solid, though. 35%, 25% fly ball. He's keeping the ball around. 40% line drive in his last 10. Hard hit is low. Blast is low. Barrel is low. So, I think Herrera might be getting closer. Launch angles are working for him. Hard hits just got to get up. Just got to get his hard hit up. Mason Wynn. Maybe today he gets up, by the way. Good. Blaze Jordan, same thing. Nothing really here. Yeah, Jordan Walker and Nelson Velasquez, with Jordan Walker probably being the guy I wouldn't sleep on the most here. Worst price, but I mean, Velasquez also has got a pretty bad price in the low 300s. Herrera does have a good pitch mix rating. Could run him for a hit today. Yeah, I think you could run Herrera for a hit today. I do think you can run Herrera for a hit today. I would prefer to take him on that route than I would on a home run route today. Or even bases or HR. I think it hits the better play to go here. Or any of these other props for Herrera. So, you think the Cards win? I just went over that. I don't look at who I think is going to win and lose a game. I look at the price. Let's just pull it up. Why not? Let's just look at the let's look at the odds. And I can tell you who I like for this game then. Well, money line's pretty similar to what I have. There's no value in this one. There is no value in this game. You see this a lot in the MLB, by the way. You see this a lot in the MLB because the MLB has a pretty large hold on these money line plays. Right now, the current line, Cardinals are plus 110. I'd want them at plus 116 or better. So I'd want them at plus 120 at least. They're plus 110, so not too much value in that. It's negative EV play. Cubs on the other side are minus 130. I'd want them at minus 116 or better. So like minus 110. They're minus 130. So the hold that the book has, the sportsbook hold, that gap between, because, a fair value line would be plus 110, minus 110. Or plus 130, minus 130, even on both sides. It's plus 110, minus 130. There's that little hold in between, which is what they take so that they make money no matter which side people are on. And there's no value in this one for money line. Total 10.5 runs. I have it at 10.64. Pretty much right where I got it. So that game's a little bit of a wash on the money line and on the total, based on the model at least. Yerfy Nerfy. We do have a minus 120 Nerfy. We can look here real quick. First inning. Nerfy plus 115. That actually might be a decent little run there. A little Nerfy here. Nerfy has some value in it. Not a ton, but a little bit of value with the Nerfy. Yo, list dead with the prime. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the game stuff here, I mean, Nerfy's decent. First 5, we could look at first 5 here too. The hardest part about this is finding the damn line in the actual book. First 5 inning result. Money line. Cardinals plus 100, Cubs minus 124. Yeah. Slightly into the Cubs here, but it's not really worth it. I think the best overall play for this game probably is Nerfy. Realistically. You just got to get through these guys. Against Payante here. Payante, last start, no homers allowed. Last 3, no homers allowed. Really? Is that what we're doing here, huh? Okay, he's been kind of cooking. Been kind of cooking on the home run side. Obviously, this is a bad start. 11 hits, 5 earned runs in 6 innings. He got smoked, but what up, John Brown? Yeah, so maybe a Nerfy in this one if you want to get a quick hitter out. What's he throwing here? Any vulnerable pitches? Last 5 starts. Look at on the year, actually. He hasn't really done much recently. On the year, knuckle curve and 4-seam, so secondary pitches here, and then the slider to the lefties. Mainly it's the slider, although there's a good home run rate on the 4-seam and knuckle curve. I'd say all 3 of his pitches to lefties are pretty vulnerable, actually. But to the righties, it's really knuckle curve and 4-seam. Knuckle curve and 4-seam is really all you're working with. Yo, List dead with the 30 stream streak, too, after the prime sub. F and Nerfy. I don't take them often. I'm just looking at everything here for y'all. Some people like taking that stuff. Righties here, Bregman. Seiya. Okay, Seiya on the 4-seam knuckle curve. Amaya and Dansby, actually. Okay. Start here. It's all right for Seiya. Nothing really crazy. Dansby, yeah, Dansby looks more impressive here. 30 fly ball, 40 line drive, 60 hard hit. Yeah. Look at all pitches. You go to his whole pitch mix. The rating here, 4.8. He's good on the 4-seam. He's good on the sinker. Yeah, I'll throw Dansby on there. Why not? He looks... I mean, I don't love this. 54% ground ball rate from Payante against... I kind of want to take this game and just throw it away a little bit, but his hard hit's really good. His blast is okay. His barrel's pretty good, too. It's really the hard hit doing a lot of work for him, and that launch angle's solid. So, 2 and 3, 5 homers in his last 2 games. Kind of crazy. So this is the verse ground ball pitcher. Let me just look at something here for y'all real quick. Right here, last 7 days, we've actually been doing pretty well on the home run picks. 21% hit rate. That's pretty solid. That is pretty solid. Even a slight positive ROI if you were to take everybody straight. These are the tags that have worked and have not worked for me in the last 7 days during this like relatively warm streak of a 20% hit rate, 21% hit rate. So actually, 5 out of 6 do has not worked at all. 0 for 9 on guys who are 5 out of 6 do that I've liked. Once again, do factor is not what I'm taking home run plays based off of. It is more so just like if I like a guy and he's due, it's a good combo for me. But clearly it hasn't been recently. 0 for 9. Long drought has actually been hurting me too, but those are kind of correlated. Obviously, if they're in a long drought, they're most likely due. But versus ground ball pitcher, 1 out of 14 guys that I've taken that have this tag have hit a home run only. Now, if we look at some of the hot tags, guys who are on the road, road warriors have been doing really well. 40% guys who have really good road splits. Reverse splits have been doing insanely well, 43%. Power surge, 38%. Barrel streak, 36%. And past bedtime, interestingly enough, guys who historically have bad night splits have actually been doing pretty well when I favorite them. So this just shows me that this negative tag shouldn't scare me away from plays I like. This one maybe should. So Dansby. Look at these goats, man. Actually, every single guy on this list. If we look at a much wider time frame, which includes some of the cold streaks. Also, I'm using my watch list in a little bit of a different way. Not everybody on my watch list is somebody I bet on. I'm using it a lot for the tracking features so that I can grind through and tell me what to take, essentially, right? So I've put 439 guys on there in the last 30 days. It's a lot. I'm not taking all 439 for homers. What I am doing is I'm putting guys on there that I'm interested in, and then I come back to the tracking and see like what tags actually work or don't. So once again, in the last 30 days versus a ground ball pitcher, only 6 out of 53 batters have hit a home run when they see that tag. 6 out of 53. 11%. So yeah, for me, it's really hard to take guys who are going against a ground ball pitcher. Once again, 5 out of 6 do has been horrible for me recently. Tags that are doing really well. Night Owl reverse splits once again is still on there. Home cooking, Night Owl locked in. So guys who are locked in, Night Owls and home cooking really work. So yeah, essentially based on the players that I star in my streams, ground ball pitcher only 11% of the time that they hit a home run against a ground ball pitcher. So yeah. My best names, here you go. These are them right here. These are the guys who are working for me. I've taken him a ton, but Hunter Goodman, 5 for 10. That's crazy. Junior, 4 for 6. Can you add a home run meter on Rude Bets so we can see how many home run total the day? Maybe? Yeah, PCA has been really good for me too. Moniac, we got him locked in, 2 for 2. Jock, we're good with. Luis Garcia, we're even pretty good with. But we really get Hunter Goodman right, and we got Caminero right too during that hot streak, and PCA we get right. So yeah, these are the tags that have been kind of doing really well for me. Look at the last 14 days, though. See if it's similar to or not. Last 2 weeks. Reverse splits, once again, locked in once again. Ground ball pitcher is going to show up everywhere. Versus ground ball pitcher has been smoking me. So yeah, I'm going to probably fade the ground ball pitcher tag then, but that's just based on the guys that I like. You guys might have a completely different trends page than I do. But reverse splits works really, really well. If you see a reverse splits tag, potentially a guy to go after for me. I guess question for you, Pakazo. What's the use case for the home run meter? Like, what would you, outside of coming in the next day and seeing right here how many hit a homer, what's the use case of, because this tells you right here, yesterday, there were 25 players that hit a home run. Well, that already exists. The expected's right here. Yesterday, the expected was 27 homers, right? Wasn't it 27? Or was it 26? You can look on the stream. Anybody remember? It was like 9 games and 25 maybe homers. And 25 guys hit a home run yesterday. So, like, the expected number is very good. Almost every single day, the expected number of homers. This is essentially the expected number of players that hit a home run because we're not expecting anybody to hit 2. We're expecting about 34 homers hit. So tomorrow, this number should probably be around 34. Yesterday was 26. Okay, and 25 guys hit a home run. So, like, not bad. The day before, it was 42, and 42 hit a homer. So it's pretty accurate. The number of expected is very good. 26 yesterday and 25 hit. Yeah, so this right here, ground ball pitcher. Don't love that. But if I was going to take somebody here, I would definitely, it would be Swanson. For the righties. The lefties here, 4-seam slider, knuckle curve. Mainly you want to target that slider. You mainly want to target that slider. PCA's been pretty good on it. Conforto's been pretty good on it too, yeah. Michael Busch hasn't. Make it so it lists the players who expected it, Homer. Well, it does that though. That's how it gets the number. It takes all the probabilities here. It takes all of these. All these home run probabilities get added up, and it gives you the final number. That's how it gets there. Yeah, I mean, Michael Bush is not really impressive recently, though. 45 fly ball, 15 line drive. Those are all right, but very low hard hit. Um, 6 for 6 with 2 homers and an extra base hit. Well, for the BVP people, here's 2 against him. Payante and Payante. Both on a slider. Both were horrible contact, but he got 2 singles out of them. 94 EV, -9 degree launch angle, but for a single. And then 76 degrees, 14-degree launch angle. A little blooper over opposite field blooper here, 157 feet. Little blooper there. Now here's a homer against Payante. It was on a slider. Once again, that slider like we talked about. That's that slider. See if we see anything else against Payante here. Slider, slider. Yeah, it's mainly that slider. So. And he's off back-to-back homer games, but I mean, pretty much the entire Cubs lineup is on back-to-back homer games. One of his homers was on an eephus. If you don't know what an eephus is, it means that a position player threw a 40-mile-an-hour ball. This guy's like Rodolfo Duran plays like what? Shortstop, center field, something like that. There's an eephus. It's a position player throwing a lob because they were down 20 runs. So this, you could throw this right out the window. That shit does not count. What a big hitter. Before that, it was a lefty on a sweeper. So lefty on lefty sweeper was his other homer. This one's, yeah, this is a real homer. But yeah, this Rodolfo Duran one, yeah, that shit does not count. It counts in the sports book or whatever in your payout, but for like data and analyzing it, brother, this was a position player. What position is Rodolfo Duran? I don't even know. I don't think I put their position on here unless they're in the lineup. Whatever. So yeah. PCA against the righties on the slider is going to probably look pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good here. 0 for 7 versus Payante here. But here's the thing. You guys might think I'm crazy here. Michael Bush, 6 for 6 versus Payante with 2 home runs. I'd prefer PCA. Personally. PCA is, I think it's because he swings so hard. I think that's what it is. So either he makes a really good contact or he barely nicks the ball. Because, like, his good hits are really good. His bad hits are really bad. You don't see, like, any mid-contact here. It's either all in or all out. It's either all in or all out. Holy cow. 50 blast. Yeah, he swings the bat hard. 50-yard hit, 40 fly ball, 30 line drive, low ground ball. Yeah. Whereas Michael Bush, 20 ground ball, 50 fly ball, that's good, but no hard hit, no barrel, no blast. But once again, your BVB people, BVP, is very good for Michael Bush. Ian Happ, mid. Conforto. Another guy who's on a heater, though. 2 homers in his last game. Kind of mid. 50 fly ball is good. Yeah. Look at guys for a hit. Let's see. Not really anybody looks too great on the pitch mix, but Michael Bush, yeah, I would go Michael Bush for a hit today if you're going that route. If you want to ride the BVP for Michael Bush, I think you're better off riding him for a hit. So, Yeah, I'm not going to take anybody in this game. Just not for me. But just to recap for anybody who joined late, Jordan Walker and Nelson Velasquez did look pretty solid. Their odds are both pretty cooked. Jordan Walker is kind of on that upswing, though. He's starting to get hot. His StatCast is indicative of a pretty good upswing coming from him. And then on the other side, Swanson, PCA, both are all right on the home run side. But for me, I'm not taking them because of the ground ball rate from Piante is way too high, and my tag that kills me is ground ball pitchers. So Herrera looks good for a hit. Michael Busch looks good for a hit. It's my wife's B-Day. Let's get one. Oh, boy, a lot of pressure. Yo, balling with the Prime sub. I don't know if I missed that, but I appreciate that. Oh, brother. A lot of pressure here. It's his wife's B-Day. Uh-oh. We'll start with the money line here again for those of you guys who care about that. Minus 142 for the Nats. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it. Plus 120 for the Pirates. That's also not going to do it. So we have another game where the VIG and the hold by the sportsbook makes this one almost impossible to play a money line. You'd want to see this at like minus 120 for the Nats, or you'd want to see the Pirates at plus 130. You get neither. They split it. They give you minus 140 and plus 120. That's just how the books do MLB lines, man. That's just how they do it. Over 9.5 is minus 114. 9.73 is what we have it at, so it's pretty spot on. But once again, our MLB model is very good. I could run a sports book on my MLB model and like this, the total and the money lines, and throw on some VIG like the books do and make a killing. That's why when you do find some value on some of these lines, it's actually worth taking. I know a lot of people who do that, and they make a pretty good killing on that. But you got to be patient because you're not going to find much. You got to be patient. The model's too dialed. 45% ground ball, 41% ground ball. Lefties are hitting Keller really well. Yeah, that kind of screams James Wood, Luis Garcia. Maybe even Abrams. Foster Griffin over here. He's an equal lover. Right-handers, righties and lefties both hitting him for over a 1.5 HR per 9. On the year, though, his HR per 9 is 1.47. So. Last start, no homers allowed. Last 3, no homers allowed to righties. So he seems to have kind of honed it in on the righties here. Good news is we don't have too many righties on the Pirates to worry about. It's really the lefties here. Sweeper, cutter, sinker, four-seam. Well, let's just look at what value we have. Lefty on lefty, I'm not a big fan of it. Sweeper, cutter, sinker, four-seam for the lefties. Brandon Lowe, good ground ball, good fly ball. Very low ISO. Good blast, though. Yeah, Brandon Lowe, I mean, I need to be, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I need to be really wowed to take a lefty on lefty for a homer. But this isn't bad. You like to see this 30% barrel rate against lefties with this pitch mix. 40 line drive, 30 fly ball. Like, let's just say I wouldn't be surprised if he hit a home run today. He's got the Road Warrior tag, which does well for us as well. I would not be surprised. But a guy with 20 homers, only 4 of them have come against lefties. I feel like you're trying to time up something crazy. So, you're new to MLB. What are you looking at for money lines? Well, if you want to be really smart about it, if you want to be what they call sharp, all you really want to look at is the price. Right here, the projected price is underneath the money line. That's what you care about. You don't really care about the score. You care about the projected price. So, you go look at this number and you go see what the Nationals price is on your book. You want the price on the book to be better than the price you see here. AKA, you get paid more. You don't want this to be minus 140 on the book. That's a negative expected value bet. We think they're worth minus 129. So you want them anything under minus 129. So minus 120, minus 110, plus 100, whatever, right? They're minus 140, so that's not a good bet. On the other side, the Pirates, you look for them. We have them valued at, call it plus 130, right? So you want to see the Pirates at anything better than plus 130. You want to see the Pirates at plus 140, plus 150, plus 160. Right now they're at plus 120, so that's not a good bet. So neither side is a good bet here. Yo, Steak with the 5 gifted. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much, my man. He's up to 25 gifted in the channel. He's coming for that number 1 spot. How we doing this morning, Steak? You doing good? We're going over a little money line expected value. Got you? Yeah. So that's all you want to do is you just want to look at price. If you want to be sharp in gambling, all you got to do is look at price. And my money line model, I'm telling you, more times than not, you're going to find out it matches the book's price. Money lines are easier to model than player props, so you can get those things dialed pretty quick. You like Nats? Does that line up? Just was going over it. The whole it would line up in theory if the book gave a fair price. If you can get the Nats at minus 130, yeah. But the hold, at least on FanDuel, the hold right now is plus 120, minus 140. There's some good vig there. If it was plus 120, minus 120, I'd be all over the Nats. If you can get the Nats at minus 120, yeah, I think it's a good one. But that's the price I would target. Anything better than minus 120, personally. I think you can go up to minus 130 on the Nats. Would you run under 9.5 in that instance? No. I haven't projected at 9.73, which is a slight favor. That's like just barely over a 9.5 total, which means I would assign maybe like a minus 115, minus 110 to that. It's slightly over the total, so it's a favor towards the over. Well, the book has the 9.5 line at minus 114. I don't think there's any value in it. If this was like 9.3, yeah, maybe you could lean the under. Jordan Walker looked like he's kind of gearing up. I don't like his price, but I think Jordan Walker looks good on a... He seems like he's trending towards being pretty good again. If you want to try to time that up today, I guess go for it. Righties versus Foster Griffin. 4-seam cutter are getting smoked here. Really high ISO, really high home run rate on that 4-seam. Even that sweeper, he just doesn't really throw the sweeper. Did he get rid of it entirely? Basically. He's basically not even throwing the sweeper. He's starting to get rid of that 4-seam, too. This is why his home run rate's down. This is why you see Foster Griffin's home run rate down. Look I'm telling you, when you guys get in this tool, you can really like kind of put the story together pretty easy. On the year, he was throwing the 4-seam 16% of the time, giving it up. Home run rate, 17% of the balls in play were going out. Well, now you can see no home runs allowed to righties in the last 3 starts. That 4-seam has dropped 3%. Last start, 4-seam dropped to 12%. He's starting to get rid of it. So he's kind of phasing it out. He's leaning really heavily into that cutter, it looks like. Although on the year, the cutter still is getting hit pretty good. Cutter 4-seam curveball. Connor Griffin. Esmeralyn Valdez and Ozuna. Yeah, Connor Griffin. Cutter 4-seam and then that little curveball, right? I'll throw the changeup in there too. Why not? Yeah, I mean Connor Griffin is a mystery box. Connor Griffin is like literally a mystery box. Just the most random outcomes here. Really hard hit, mid, awful, mid, really hard hit. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. You just put your hand in the box, close your eyes, and you just hope you get something good. Like, on the year versus lefties, 725, only 1 homer. Yeah, I mean, 5 on the pitch mix. This is about as on the fence of a read as you could possibly have. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look bad. Connor Griffin is literally a middle. He still does throw the changeup in there. Yeah, we'll keep the changeup. 4-seam cutter, changeup, curve. Now, Brian Reynolds here. He's going to hit. Good. Your book has Orioles at -21. The model has a -181. Yeah, like that could be a good play. Like that's some good expected value. Now I wouldn't just hammer everything, right? Like keep your unit sizing, manage your bankroll properly, but like that's a good value play for sure. It is still baseball, man. Like you know how baseball goes. It's one of the craziest sports in terms of actual outcomes on the field. The hardest sport to play. So, Brian Reynolds. Now here's a guy who would not have made it through that filter with the last 5 versus last 20. Last 20, 45 hard hit. Last 5, only 20% hard hit. So he's going in the wrong direction here. He's got some good stuff here, but Brian Reynolds is going in the wrong direction. Ozuna's kind of a mixed bag as well. 40 hard hit, 30 blast. I mean, not great, not bad. Esmeralyn Valdez, now he looks really good. Very small sample size, but yeah, he's smoking it. Would not be surprised to see him do something today. I'm going to throw him on there. Ride the hot bat on that one. I think that's a till the wheels fall off kind of play. Henry Davis. Henry Davis is going in the right direction too, if I'm being honest with you. 40% fly ball, 50 hard hit, 20. Yeah. Launch angles are a little wonky here for Henry Davis, but it's only the fastball. But that's his vulnerable pitch. He still hit the cutter 105, changeup 91. Those aren't terrible. A lot of good hits on the fastball, and that is the vulnerable pitch. So at least that matches up. He's also probably good for a hit today. If you're looking for someone to get a hit today, Esmeralyn Valdez is on a 7-game hitting streak. So if you don't want to do the home run angle here, right there, you got it for you. 7-game hit streak. Matches up pretty well on the pitch mix at a 5.3. It's not bad. Fastball, massively overpowered against a fastball. So, yeah. Took Wood, Ben Rice, Cowser, and Casey. Okay. All we really care about for Mitch Keller is the lefties for the most part. 4-seam curveball, sinker, cutter. None of them are really vulnerable, though. On the year, the changeup and the sweeper. Wow. Four-seam curveball, sinker, cutter. I mean, that sweeper, I want to keep it in there. Yeah, Luis Garcia, man. That's a must play for me, I think. Everything except the slider and the changeup. Yeah. The must play for me on Luis Garcia. Yeah, I really like that. 3 for 14, 3 extra base hits. Take him for a hit as well. Throw him on the veggies. Total bases, hits, runs, RBIs. If you're not a home run person or you want to start to venture off just home runs, Luis Garcia is a great option today for any prop. Except for like a walk or stolen base, obviously. You could take him for an RBI. You could take him for a run. You could take him for hits, runs, RBIs, total bases, a hit, home run. Luis Garcia is looking like him. So looks pretty good today. It's about as good as you're going to find. Now you hope they execute. James Wood, 3 for 10 with a homer. Yeah, James Wood does look pretty good here too. He's starting to heat up for sure. The issue with James Wood is you're getting a plus 255 price. Like, we got the owns this pitcher tag on CJ Abrams, as somebody mentioned earlier. 6 hits and 14 at bats with a homer. Does very well against Mitch Keller. Honestly, the only thing he looks good on is BVP here. The only thing CJ Abrams looks pretty good on is BVP. Did have a homer the other day on Tommy Kahnle on a changeup, but yeah, it's kind of the only thing he's looking too hot on. And then just quickly, I do want to see Curtis Mead here. Sweeper, four seam, sinker. Not really giving up homers to righties, but sweeper, sinker, four seam. Yeah. Curtis Mead, honestly, not that impressive versus righties. Versus lefties, man, he's very impressive. Versus righties, just a really high ground ball, not very hard hit. He does have 8 homers against righties this year. But recently, he's not been that impressive versus righties. So, Abrams for a hit. If you want to rely on the BVP side of things, yeah, I think that's the only supporting data for Abrams right now. Yeah, Mead is okay. I mean, at least you're getting a good price on Mead for sure in the 560s. Don't mind him there. Got a couple zone matches here too. I don't mind Mead. That StatCast doesn't really tell a good story though. So I think Luis Garcia is by far the best play in this one. Mead is the other plus EV one. So I wouldn't be afraid to take Mead today, but I'm gonna just focus on Garcia here. Mead safer for a hit than Abrams. Pretty even. I mean, Abrams has the edge on the pitch mix rating. Mead has the edge on the potentially more at bats. Batting average on balls in play though is a lot higher for Abrams. I think overall Abrams is better, but if Mead gets an extra at bat, that's why his projection's a little higher. He's got one more extra at bat priced in there. So it just really depends on if they get 4. If they only get 4 at bats each, then I would lean Abrams. If they can get a 5th at bat, I mean, best play for a hit in this game is Luis Garcia, in my opinion. On that team, at least. But you can go either one, I think. All right, Paredes versus Garrett Cole. We already have Ben Rice starred, and we already have Josh Bell starred. Garrett Cole, lefties, really getting after him. 2.14 HR per 9 versus lefties. 4-seam changeup, knuckle curve, all getting smoked. Yeah. Four-seam changeup, knuckle curve. Josh Bell and Cody Clemens. Josh Bell in the last, I mean, if you go to the last 10, pretty good. 50-yard hit, 20 barrel, 50 fly. A little high on the ground ball, but Garrett Coley's 1 for 2 in the last 3 years. Nothing crazy. 20% barrel, 10% blast. Good max EV. Max EV of 106 almost. We'll take that all day. Yeah, wind out to left. Kinda. It's a little bit cross-directional here right now, but yeah, Josh Bell's all right today. I don't mind him. Cody Clemens, also pretty good. 2 homers on the mix, 40% fly, 20 line drive, 50 hard hit, 20 barrel. 2.3 on the zones, nothing crazy. Short porch, though, in Yankee Stadium, yeah. I do like the lefties there. I do like the lefties. Yeah, Caratini's mid. We're not even going to look at the righties. I mean, not really worth it right now. Only one homer allowed to righties. Way more allowed to lefties. Just screams lefty day. Paredes here, a right-handed pitcher who throws pretty evenly. A little bit more homers allowed to righties on a four-seam and sweeper. Lefties are getting the four-seam. Four-seam and cutter, actually. Four-seam and cutter for the lefties. Four-seam sweeper to the righties. Four-seam cutter here to the lefties. Ben Rice. Yep, 80% fly ball, 50-yard hit, 20 barrel. Couple homers on the mix. Ben Rice is definitely in play. Definitely in play. Cody Bellinger, probably not. Jazz Chisholm, I mean, he's in play. A little high on the ground ball, though. But good blast there. Doesn't beat Ben Rice for me here. Spencer Jones, very hard hit, but he barely hits the ball. Austin Wells, okay. Four-seam sweeper to the righties. Actually, we'll look at Dominguez here, too. Yeah. I don't even have Paul in the lineup. Paul's... If it was a lefty or both, he looks really good against both arms. Against righties on a four-seam sweeper... What do y'all see with Goldie? What am I missing? Welcome to a free 50. Okay, there you go. Yo, what am I missing with Goldie? Few people said he looks nuts. I don't know what I'm missing. I guess the two homers? I think it has to be in the watch list the way it's built out. But I can work on like integrating it more across the site. That'll be a little difficult because it has to live calculate it. That's the problem. Like if you wanted it in the player page, every time you clicked a player, you'd have to wait like 15 seconds for it to calculate every single play you've took them on and like do you know what I mean? That's why it's in the watch list because it goes through and it runs all the calculations across everything and then gives you your output. Has to check the bid database, look up your username, see all the players you've added. You know, it's pretty intensive. Loves a four seam, yeah. I guess. Against both, yeah. A lot of lefties, a couple righties here. We'll see. I don't think they beat Ben Rice for me though. Those rest of them will be though. Yeah, that's true. It is a vulnerable pitch though. Four seams and sweepers both get hit pretty well. Mainly that four seam though from Paredes. 69% hard hit rate, 38% fly ball. Pretty crazy. Lefties 55 and 55. Yeah, I mean, really, you could just go to the Yankees. You could just isolate for four seam and call it a day. Ben Rice, man. Yeah, I like Ben Rice the most here. Although Jazz versus a four seam, a little high on the ground. Good ISO, but on high on the ground. So Ben Rice just looks insane on a four seam. Ben Rice just looks insane on a four seam. Anthony K. Oh, wow. Okay. Anthony K. We all know this. He gives up homers to righties a lot here. Also on that four seam. Wow. Okay. Gavin Williams. Still, it's got a good amount of homers allowed. Yeah, Gavin Williams is definitely hittable. Sinker sweeper. Mainly it's the sinker. The sweeper is really good for him. His sweeper is, well, on the year, though, I guess it's just gotten better. I guess his sweeper is just improving. He didn't even throw the four seam anymore. He's just literally sweeper sinker. Okay, sinker sweeper is all you're looking at here for the righties. Sinker sweeper. It's all sinkers. And Miguel Vargas is fair value here, I think. Locked in, leap barrels, power speed versus Gavin Williams, 2 for 7. I don't mind Vargas here. I'll put him on there for now. Chase Maydroff. Yeah, I'll post the watch list. If I remember. You gotta remind me. Yeah, so really it's just Vargas if the righties do it. Oops. For the lefties here, you're looking at curveball, sinker. It's everything. Just getting rid of that four seam though. Mainly curveball, sinker, but curveball very high. He is retiring that four seam. Curveball, sinker. Throw the sweeper in there, but it's curveball, sinker. Antonacci, 50 hard hit, 20 fly ball, 60 ground ball. Guy great for a hit today. Antonacci looks great for a hit today. I like him to get another leadoff hit. Recent form, he's on a 7-game hitting streak. Yeah, ride him till the wheels fall off. Antonacci is a veggies till the wheels fall off kind of guy right now. He fits that bill today. Kyle Teal, nothing impressive. Benintendi, 60-yard hit, but very high in the ground for Benintendi. Okay. Colson Montgomery, 60 blast, 80 hard hit, 50 fly ball. I like Colson. I like Colson today, as we all. And he's got the reverse. Well, I like Colson today. Day late for Colson. Also, you avoid the four seam, which we know is his bad pitch. He's terrible against four seams. Gavin Williams is kind of putting the four seam in the bag. Yeah, I don't hate Colson today. But Antonacci for veggies, I love. Even though it's against Gavin Williams, I think is a really good spot for him. You probably get a good price. But yeah, if you can get Colson Montgomery hitting against a guy that doesn't throw a lot of four seams, you're in a good spot. You are in a good spot. Anthony K, right-handed batters is all you really want to target here. Four seam, cutter, and sinker are the vulnerable pitches. Man, that four seam gets smoked. Oh my God. Yeah, David Fry or Reese Hoskins. Not bad. Yeah, Reese is kind of ass. I mean, I don't love him. David Fry versus lefties. It's just insane. Yeah, I'll throw Fry back on there. I mean, shit. 2 home runs in a row here for Fry. Maybe he's going on a little bit of a run, but sinker, four seam, cutter, nothing on the cutter really. Mainly sinker, four seam there, but you don't think Colson has a homer off either of those pitches? Yeah, but what matters is the ISO allowed on the pitches, the home run rate allowed on the pitches, and then how he does versus them. Curveball, sinker, and sweeper. We got a homer on that. Oh, that's against a lefty. Like, no homers on these, but these are high ISO pitches that are allowed and 80% hard hit, 60 blast. Max EV of 114 miles an hour, too. Yeah. I'll take that against the vulnerable pitches for sure. I'm cool with it. Yeah. Ben Rice, free square? Yeah. I wouldn't say that. Looks good, though. He does look good. Brady Singer. Brady Singer's been kind of good, man. Whoa, actually not. What happened his last start? 2 homers. Oh. He was doing pretty well, and then, yeah, Pirates got after Singer. Okay. Both get active. Both get active. His whole pitch mix is vulnerable. I mean, mainly, though, that's sinker. Cutter sweeper, which he's not really throwing. He still throws him a little bit. He got rid of the 4-seam, though. We never really had it. Okay. The lefties against kind of the whole pitch mix except the 4-seam. Feels good to type in chat today. Lefties, Basayo, Tavera. Yeah, Colton Cowser really stands out here. Colton Cowser against the sinker, insanely good. Sinker, number 1 most vulnerable pitch in terms of volume. Slider, Colton Cowser is pretty solid on, just a little low fly ball, but 1,000 ISO. Sweeper. Okay, so the sweeper is not great. 0 ISO. Cutter, he's okay. Really, though, slider sinker for Colton Cowser is crazy. Crazy. Basayo is good versus the sweeper, good versus the sinker, and good versus the cutter. I mean, yeah. Don't hate Basayo here. I think I like Colton I don't hate him. Don't hate him. Man, he's been bad, though. He has been bad. Just cold, man. Just cold. Could be a bounce back spot, though. You could be looking at him for a bounce back. He's got good blast. But he's been bad. I think Hauser's been pretty bad, too, though. Yeah, a little bit better. 40 hard hit, 40 blast, 40 fly, 20 line. Yeah. So for the lefties, Cowser's my number 1 there. We'll look at Pete because everybody in the world is on Pete. Righties is sinker and sweeper are the 2 that are getting hit pretty hard. Sinker, sweeper. The slider's not so bad. We'll throw it in there at the end, though. Pete, we do have him with a 30% chance. Yeah, you throw the slider in there and he looks really good. Slider's kind of pulling it up, though. I don't hate Pete today. I'll throw him on there. I don't hate him. 3 for 6 with an extra base hit. Don't hate him. Beavers, very high on the ground. 60-yard hit's good, though. Very high hard hit. Very high ground ball. He hits ball hard, hits ball straight into ground. Eh. Gunner, 40 fly, 60-yard hit, 50 blast. Could be one of those random days where Gunner goes. I mean, where you just out of nowhere hits it. Last 7 games for Gunner, though. 517 OPS, no homers. Wouldn't say he's particularly hot. Too many mouths to feed? Yeah. I'm going to just stick with my guns and go Colton Cowser. He also is, for those who missed it, he is 6 out of 6 here. He's got a barrel in his last 3. His barrel rate's good. He's in a drought. He's got a good launch angle working for him right now. Home run friendly pitcher and a home run friendly park. So that gives Cowser the edge for me. That's where I use the do factor. I don't use the do factor as like I'm going to take guys because they're due. I use it as if I'm split between a couple. Well, that'll give him a +1 for me. Also, very similar to Gunner here. Has not hit a home run in a little bit of time. Yeah, he's starting to work. We'll see how it goes. But Pete looks good too. He really has been only throwing 4-seam changeup. Yeah, Ellie, another guy I would put on the veggies play. Ellie is another guy that I would load up on your veggies with. I'm going to be honest with you. That is insanely good hard hit. 70% hard hit, 50% blast. Fly ball and line driver kind of mid. Hits, runs, RBIs for Ellie could be good. What does veggies mean? Like a double up. Like a double up play. So hits, runs, RBIs. Yeah, this log is insane for Ellie. My God. Here's the issue, though. 31% strikeout rate. He does strike out a ton versus left-handed pitching. But if he hits the ball, if he makes contact with the ball at any point, smokes it. Just smoked. Sal Stewart on a bit of a heater here. A couple games with homers. Does not look particularly good here against this lefty, this combo. Not really. Spencer Steer, couple hard hit, couple homers, but outside of those 2 home runs, he's done nothing. Posted veggies play today. Last time I posted a veggies play, Tatis decided to disappear, and the Padres lost by 40 runs. I have the book it with Trent effect. I post a play, it instantly dies. I take it in silence, it cashes. Antonacci with the leadoff homer. What a tease, bro. How does Tatis go that cold against Colin Ray? I don't know, man. I don't know. Padres got smoked. Okay, so I think Ellie De La Cruz, if you want to take him for a homer, you can, but I really just prefer going Ellie on hits, runs, RBIs, or a hit. I think that's a much smarter play in this game. Orioles minus 124. I do like the value on the Orioles, even though Trevor Rogers is kind of ass. If the Orioles can hit their homers today like they should, a lot of guys look really good on the Orioles offense. And if Trevor Rogers can be okay today, he's been really good his last 3 starts as well. He's starting to get back into form. He started out the year horrible. You got to remember, last year, Trevor Rogers, 1.81 ERA. This guy was elite last year. And he's been doing last 3 starts. He's been lighting it up. So Orioles money line looks pretty good today. 2 bases for Cruz. It's okay, yeah. It's not bad. With that hard hit, I think you could get a double. I mean, that's another angle. You could take Ellie for a double today. I think that's actually not bad. Ellie De La Cruz double could be interesting too. If you're interested in doubles. Mets Atlanta, Christian Scott, Grant Holmes. Let's fly through this. We're taking too long. 4-seam slider versus lefties. Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor. Call it a day and move on. They look stupid. Juan Soto and Lindor look stupid. Back-to-back homers, loading. Carson Bench even looks pretty good here too. Can't lie. But Soto, yeah. Slider 4-seam to the righties. Even Francisco Alvarez looks pretty good today too. 462. Golly. You could even throw Francisco Alvarez on there. But I'm going to go Soto and Lindor. They both look dumb. Yes, he is a meatball thrower. 4-seam and slider gets smoked. On the slider, Soto's not that great. Good blast. 4-seam, though, I mean, golly. They both look dumb on the 4-seam. Slider, yeah. Yeah, maybe Lindor gets cooked on a slider today, but 4-seam, he'll see plenty of them. He'll have his opportunities. Christian Scott, this guy's good, man. This guy is good. Last couple games, he started to give up a little bit more homers, but he'd been pretty good this year. Let's look at the last 3 and see what was vulnerable. Mainly lefties. On the year, it's, pretty much all lefties. So lefties on the 4-seam has been getting smoked in that sweeper. Four-seam sweeper to lefties, Ozzie Albies, Dom Smith, good ISO. It's Albies, Harris, or Smith. But I'm probably gonna fade. I'm not a huge fan. But if you were to take someone in Atlanta, Albies, Harris, or Smith, I just think I don't want to have 7 guys in that game on my slip. I like Lindor and Soto a lot, so I'll just keep it there. Feltner versus Webb. But Webb is another guy we're probably going to fade here. Yeah. If you don't know now, you know. Webb doesn't give up homers. HR per 9 on the year, 0.5. Feltner's hittable, though. I know people are going to want to run Moniak back, but Webb is just nuts, man. And he's a ground ball pitcher, so the verse ground ball pitcher tag is in play. That's an auto no for me. That is an auto no for me. It's enough to disqualify it. Feltner, though, definitely hittable. 8 homers and 11, 1.36 HR per 9. Not quite a meatball thrower, but hittable. On the year, lefties are hitting more. 1.62 versus 1.17 HR per 9. So a little bit more vulnerable to lefties. It's really that 4-seam. Curveball and 4-seam are what gets hit for him, but mainly the 4-seam. No ISO on the year on changeups. Really good changeup. Slider not doing too much either. Although slider does get hit in the air a lot. So we kind of want to just avoid the changeup. 4-seam, slider, curveball. Damn. Devers looks Nuts. Auto take. Devers looks nuts. Terrible odds in the 200s, but golly. Kind of it. Devers looks nuts. Righties. Yeah, it's really four-seam slider. Let's look at the slider first. Okay. Devers we don't take in San Fran, not Colorado. Or at least that's what I've said. When I say I don't take Devers at that park, I was referencing when he's at home. Yeah, but it's Colorado, so the ball does fly more. It's a little different. San Fran, the ball doesn't fly. It gets killed by the swirling wind. There's a little difference in the ballpark shape. But yeah, it is harder to hit homers in Colorado. The dead center for sure. Dead center is tough for Devers, but also we'll look at him in a sec. He's starting to pull it more, but this log is insane. 80 fly ball, 80 hard hit, 20 blast, 40% barrel. That's I gotta ride that. Casey Schmidt's getting close too. I wouldn't be surprised to see Schmidt go today. Four-seam slider, 70 hard hit. Not bad. Not bad for Casey Schmidt here. Couple barrels even. Not bad. Pause. God. Pause. Okay. You know what? Not pause. Play. Gotta ride it. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound great. When I said it again, it made it worse. Yeah, it did. I really thought that was gonna come out a little bit better than it did. I thought it was gonna come out better than it did, bro. Looks insane. We gotta ride it. Yeah. All right. Hey, good luck today, CW. We're here for you. We're here for you. Be strong out there. You got this. Had to pause fixing my TV for that one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean Schmidt's not bad. Schmidt's not bad, but not on the upswing here. And he's a good pull hitter. You take Schmidt today. You could take Schmidt today. But Devers looks just stupid. We got to play that. I don't say it on purpose. It just comes out. Like, I'm not consciously thinking about it until I say it. And I'm like, damn. What'd you miss, Mel? Kind of a lot. Kind of a lot. I'm fading Logan Webb. If you want to take Moniak, you do your thing. All right, I'm going to pull the watch list up and go to the bathroom so everyone can see it. It's a good stopping point. How do I even... I know what I'm going to do. All right, here's the current watch list. I will BRB. I will BRB. Okay. There we are. All right. What are we doing? What did I miss? Mini cardio into a twerk song? Bro, AI is crazy. Did it say that? All right. Bro, I'm never beating the allegations, man. They didn't like that song? Who doesn't like 303? Yes, you guys have never heard that song? Y'all never heard that song? Yeah, dude, 303. They got some bangers. They got a few of them. Don't Trust. What was it called? Don't Trust. Don't Trust Me, but all one word. Don't Trust Me, all one word, no spaces. By 303. Looks like 3 Ohio or something, but it's 303. 303's got a lot of bangers from like those songs are all from like 2006, man. Maybe 2008, something like that. They're old. Okay. Um, who do I like for the Cubs? I'm fading the Cubs personally today. Not taking any of them. But Swanson and PCA were both guys that I would have considered if they didn't have a ground ball tag. Uh, okay. Junior is still an auto take, even though he didn't do well yesterday. Still an auto take. Arrighetti, though, is giving it up a little bit more to lefties. Get a lot more. That four seam's getting smoked. Oh, that curveball is getting not smoked. It's really the four seam. Four seam and sweeper. Mullins, 1,000 OPS on a four seam and 600 OPS on the sweeper, 750 on the four seam. On the curveball, not great. So, do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips. Yeah, that song is kind of crazy if you listen to the lyrics. What about Rumfield? I'm just not going to go up against Logan Webb. There's good value on Rumfield, but I'm just not gonna. I'm just gonna pick my spots and move on. Um, Lefties here though against the curveball, they're gonna get smoked. His curveball is really good. 0 ISO, 0 homers, 0 hard hit, 0 fly ball. That curveball is dominating right now. And these guys don't hit curveballs well. So four seam, Mullins, pretty good. Sweeper, Mullins and Aranda are pretty good, but Mullins lines up on both the four seam and the sweeper. So your lefty here today would be Cedric Mullins. 3 homers in a row, 4 in his last 5. Golly. Yeah, Mullins is still what's another word I can use here? Still uh playable. That's a good word. Mullins is still playable. That's not the word I was originally going to use. I think you can guess the word I was going to use. I caught myself. He's playable. Not doable. Starts with an R. Same word I was using before. I pulled it back though, last second. Righties. Yeah. Rideable is diabolical. I caught it though. I caught it. Reliable. That's a good word. Reliable. I'd make a bad sports commentator. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you hear like you're watching someone comment on a game and you're like, "What the hell did he say?" Like the announcers. I'd be an awful announcer. They paused me like 7 times so you could ride it until the wheels fall off, and they're like, "What?" Yandy, I'm gonna fade Yandeezy again. I'm gonna keep fading Randeezy. Randeezy. No, Yandeezy. Yandy. Yeah, especially like NFL. If you watch an NFL game and you listen to those guys, like Monday Night Football, you hear some stuff. You're like, what did he just say? I don't think they've fallen off on Junior yet. I'm not ready to say that. Yesterday was not a good day for him. 0 for 5, but no strikeouts. Look at this. Look at what he did yesterday. 113 off the bat, pull, and a blast. Just a bad launch angle. Just a bad launch angle. Just a bad launch angle. Still smoking the hell out of the ball. Yesterday he had 3 hits over 100 miles an hour with an 113, 106, and 102. I don't think it's fallen off yet. 60% blast yesterday. Just a very high ground ball. He's still seeing it. Fair line in MLB is that's a good piece of hitting. I know they love to say that when a guy gets out too. You know what I mean? You always hear that. It'll be like the guy, gets like a 10 pitch at bat or something, 11 pitches, fouls a bunch off, ends up getting out. And they're like, well, that was a good piece of hitting. It's like, I mean, he's still heading to the bench. Still heading to the bench, but you say so. Yeah, NFL is crazy. They do say some crazy stuff on the NFL. But hey, apparently I'm no better, so. Martinez starting to get lit up. Starting to get lit up. We were waiting for it. It's here. Lefties. Golly, lefties. Change up, sinker, 4-seam. Jordan. When was the last time Jordan did anything? I mean, probably recently, actually. Trammell and Jordan. Same guys. It's always the same guys right now. Yeah, he did have a homer a couple days ago. 3 hits yesterday. Jordan's getting a hit today, too. You throw Jordan on your hit list. Yeah. Price on him is terrible. I would just keep him for a hit or something. Trammell also looks crazy. Still looks crazy. I'm going to throw Trammell still on there. I am. I'm going to keep Trammell going. Devers Jr., Pete Alonso. It's not bad for your chalk play for sure. If you're looking chalky chalk, yeah. Sinker cutter. Sinker cutter to the righties. Sinker cutter. Altuve, you can get the hell out of here. Paredes, yeah, David Fry was on the list. Paredes, you can get the hell out of here too. Walker, sinker cutter. Mixed bag. You don't know what you're gonna get, but he's got some stuff in there. A really mixed bag. 50% hard hit. The other 50% is terrible. Other 50% here is terrible. Just a complete mixed bag. I don't know. I don't like that. Well, he could do it. Not great here. Yeah. I think I'm just going to go Trammell. Oh, Yainer Diaz. Very high ground ball. I think it's just Trammell for me in this one. Christian Walker, just too much of a mixed bag. Devers, Garcia, Soto Jr., or Rice? Wait. That's basically my ticket except replace Soto with Shohei Jr. for Rice. So he's Garcia, Devers, Shohei, Rice. Devers, Garcia, Shohei, Rice. Yo, Detmers is him, by the way. Detmers is kind of him. Reed Detmers is kind of him. Righties are the only things you even want to look at here, but even at that. Four-seam slider changeup, I guess, to the righties here. Contreras is suspended. Is he starting that today? Is he starting that today? Bro, what is this lineup? I mean, if Contreras plays, it would be him. But he's a merchant on the four-seam. If Contreras doesn't play, I'm probably not even gonna touch anybody on the Red Sox. I'm probably not gonna take anybody on the Red Sox. Bennett's low-key him too. This is probably a pretty dusty game. Bennett's kind of him. The only righties here too. Four-seam and the sinker are the two that you could kind of hit. Denzer Guzman with a 1,500 OPS is insane. I liked Soto and Lindor. I liked both. I liked both a lot. Tell you what, I'm willing to take a flyer on Denzer Guzman as a long shot here. He does have the verse ground ball pitcher tag, which is a negative, but I'm okay to take a flyer on Denzer Guzman. Plus 870 long shot. Cool with that. Theory. Not you. Not you. Hell. Jose's okay. Good fly ball, good line drive. Could be all right. Could be another decent long shot here. But with the ground ball pitcher tag, I'm going to be a little bit more selective. And Denzer right there, I like that. I could see Jose, though. Don't hate him. Good price in the 500s isn't bad. Jose's not bad today. But give me Denzer. Small sample size, but wow, I like that. 2 homers and 5. Yeah, I'll take it. Probably not. Yeah, probably not an ideal game, but Tyler Phillips, Jack Perkins. We already have Owen Casey on the watch list here. Now, he is giving up homers to righties a little bit more, actually. Recently, lefties get after it, though. Four-seam cutter. Oh, there's a four-seam sweeper cutter to the righties. Where's Harry? Nothing. Four-seam and sweeper. Yep. Yep. Pretty easy. It's only one. He looks pretty insane, too. Get rid of the four-seam. Is he a merchant? Yeah, he's a merchant. Okay, you're looking for a four-seam for Owen Casey. You are looking for a four-seam, but what am I? Wait. Conine, hold on. Nothing on a sweeper, but on a four-seam, Conine, very high ground ball. Good ISO, though, but very high ground ball. Not really any good prices over here. Langoliers and Kurtz, both in the low 200s. Both in the low 200s. The whole mix gets hit pretty well, though. Versus righties, not so much. Really, it's just the sinker. Yeah, splitter, too. We could look at all of it. Sinker, sweeper, splitter. Shea doesn't even look that good on it. Lefties, it's pretty much everything except for the curveball. Yeah, Kurtz doesn't even, I don't think either of these guys are worth it in the low 200s. So in Casey for that game for me. Arizona, Milwaukee, I mean, I think it's just Cattell over here. We already looked into this. I would just do Cattell, and it's only on the four-seam, really. Cattell versus a lefty on the four-seam. Arenado could also be a good option here, though. Arenado with a 417 ice. Arenado on a four-seam. Yeah, Arenado on the four-seam could be good tonight. Another possible long shot here. Although, when's the last time? He's got a couple homers. On the year, only 2 homers against lefties, though. I'm not going to take Arenado, but definitely against that four seam, he could perform. He could perform. Who's this guy? That is a crazy line. For an iPhone 6? What was Lil Wayne talking about? I mean, kind of nothing with a really high ISO that's thrown a lot. The sinker, all the home runs are basically hit on sinker and a sweeper, but so cutter, sweeper, four seam, sinker. And then no sinker to the lefties. Okay, we got to start one more. Cutter, sweeper, four seam, sinker. Cutter, sweeper, four seam, sinker. Churio. Probably not his night. Probably not Churrio's night. Contreras, very high ground ball, unfortunately. But Contreras, God, he's got a lot of hard hit here. 50%. Mixed bag, though. Another mixed bag, Contreras. Cooper Pratt, probably not. All right, so we're probably going to be looking at the lefties here. We got four-seam cutter, curveball, changeup. Four-seam cutter, curveball, changeup. All right, watch out for Yelich, man. I'm putting Yelich on there. I like this. 70 hard hit, 40 blast, 50 fly. Yelich is definitely heating up. Contreras for a hit, you could. I'm playing this FIFA song. Yelich looks decent. I like him. I'm putting him on the list. Terang, meh. Maybe, but not really that impressive. They had Yelich at plus 800. Golly, where did that go? Is it gone already? 70 hard hit for Bowers. Kind of losing the fly ball. A lot of line drive. I still think Bowers is a good price. You could go Bowers. I like Yelich a little bit more. But you could go Bowers. Mitchell, wow. It's 70 ground ball is crazy. But when he 100% home run to fly ball ratio, he's definitely heating up. Last 5, ground ball still at 60%. But Garrett Mitchell's heating up here. Definitely heating up. You got a couple options here on the crew. You do have a couple options. It is in Arizona, so pull. You just don't want straightaway center. This is a tough spray chart for Garrett Mitchell. This is tough in Arizona. Yelich has a couple pull here, one oppo. Nothing really to the dead part. You just don't want to see a lot of center field. Yeah, tough for Bowers. I mean, 50-50 for Bowers, honestly. Kind of go either way. I like Yelich, though, I think. But you could go Bowers and Garrett Mitchell. I did not look at O'Hoppe. Josh Bell or Pete Alonso when you get a chance? I liked both. Pete Alonso's a higher chance, but Bell's in a really good spot, too. They're both on my list. They both are on there. Yelich still at plus 700. That's a good price. That is a good price. I did like both. Yeah. Cease and Castillo. Well, Cease, I mean, yeah, I can. Castillo, really, you want to target lefties here. Four-seam slider, changeup. Varsho. I mean, Varsho is not bad. Not bad for Varsho here. I'm going to put him on there. Oh, that's Lucas. Not bad for Lucas. 60 hard hit. A little low on the barrel in the blast. Good line drive. Fly ball. It's a little high in the ground. Road Warrior and locked in. I'll throw him on there. I don't mind it. Varsho, not as good. Not as good, but still not terrible. Good blast and good hard hit. Low high ground ball. Not bad. John Keys. Don't know who this is. He did hit a home run on Freddie. Yeah, I think it's Lucas. That would be who I would pick here. 2 for 7 with a homer, locked in tag, and a Road Warrior tag. Both of those are good for me. Yeah, cool with that. Against Dylan Cease, I mean, only 5 homers this year. No homers in the last 4 starts. Couple rough games outside of that. Pretty much all of his home runs have come in these 2 games. Everything else, not really allowing anything. So I don't really want to waste my time going through it. Not really many good pitch mix ratings. If they hit a homer on him, I tip my cap. That's how I operate. They hit a home run, cool. I'm not betting on it. Ohtani versus Michael King. Okay, well, you can already cross off the Padres here. I don't really care. It's the same thing. I'm not fading Ohtani on homers. He has given up 3 homers on the year. Michael King. Sinker, sweeper. Really is the sinker in the 4 seam. Sweeper still gets put in the air, but look at the ratings. Yeah. My sinker is really the most hittable. Yeah, Mookie with a 571 ISO. I'll put Mookie on there. I don't mind that. 6 for 18 with 3 homers. Oh, against Michael King on the sinker, he did well. On the sweeper, he did nothing. Kind of exactly what we expected here. Exactly what we expected. It'd have been a good day for you and Brown to stream together. You all started at the same time today? Damn. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, Mookie's not bad. I like Mookie as a righty today. I think he's in a good spot. And then Shohei Ohtani. Oops, sorry. I want to look at Shohei Ohtani as a batter. Really, it's just the changeup and the sinker are the only 2 pitches that are get any love. At 462 ISO. I mean, Ohtani's okay. Kind of a slumper. He was in the bounce back candidate pool, though. I do remember seeing Ohtani on the list builder for one of the bounce backs. So Ohtani could be in the bounce back spot today. I know a lot of y'all love taking Ohtani when he pitches. He's in an okay spot, though. I don't love it. But 40 blast, 20... I mean, he always has really good numbers. Ground ball's really high for him right now. Rafael and Bennett plus 1,200 good odds? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just Mookie or Ohtani here. Yeah. Freddie's okay, but it's really Mookie or Ohtani. Rushing, I don't see anything impressive here. I know he hit one yesterday. 4 for 4 yesterday with a homer, 4 RBIs, 3 runs. Yeah, he went stupid yesterday. He did go stupid yesterday. But on changeup sinkers from righties, I mean, just nothing really impressive. He does well on the 4 seam and the slider. Four seam and the slider, he does well on those two. Slider doesn't really get thrown. Four seam does. But I mean, everyone does well on a four seam for the most part. I think Mookie or Ohtani. Just can't do Ohtani at 255, man. All right, let me go back to that bounce back spot. I think Ohtani was in one of these. I talked about both of the Contreras brothers today. I didn't star either of them though. No, it wasn't that bounce back spot. Maybe Ohtani wasn't on him. I thought I saw him on a bounce back, but maybe not. Yeah, there he is. So he's on the extreme home run pitch bounce back spot against a changeup. So Freddie's also on that list. But Shohei is at the top of the bounce back spot on a changeup. So yeah, these are the bounce back guys on these specific pitches. Home run vulnerable pitches that these guys have been not doing too hot on recently, but they have a good max EV on them. So he is on there. All right, let's see how we ended up doing here with our hot combo. How did we end up doing on this hot combo? Yeah. All right. We're chilling. All right, let's just do one more last 5 starts. Let's do a last 20 events matching the opponent pitcher's hand. Let's just do last 10. Anybody with over 3 home runs in the last 10 on any pitch that's thrown more than 10%. Yeah, let's do 15%. This is your guys who've hit at least 3 home runs on the pitch mix. Six players who've hit 3 home runs in their last 10 on the pitch mix, right here. Junior Devers Garcia, all 3 guys we liked. PCA could do it again too. Would be the guy I would take if I was taking the Cubs. Moniak and Sheets. So these are guys who have 3 homers on the pitch mix in their last 10 balls in play. Pretty good right there. There's a 3-man staring at me. Where? This one right here? You got the best 3-man? Luis Garcia, Soto, and Junior. So swap out Devers for Soto there. All right, let me post this for y'all on Twitter. All right. Oops. There you go. You want this list in the WAP too? Okay. I'll post it. I posted it. There. Okay. Just went all in on Garcia, Devers, and Soto. Soto. Isn't that what the other person said they were doing? No, they said Junior Garcia and Soto. Pretty good. Garcia, Devers, and Soto. I like it. I'll tail that. Okay. Post this real quick too before I forget. All right, do we need to clean this up at all? Let's see. We got Junior, Devers, Alonso, Clemens, Rice, Valdez, Soto, Luis, David Fry, Henry Davis, El Cedric, Lindor, Yelly. Got your long shots here with Lucas and Guzman. Even Mookie's a long shot. So I want to say a big thank you and appreciate you taking time to do this all this. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. Thank y'all for being here. If nobody showed up, I wouldn't do it. So appreciate y'all for being here. And I appreciate y'all for signing up for rootbets.com and supporting there too. Also, if nobody was signing up for the site, I wouldn't be doing this either. So, all right, let's figure this out. Let's see what the builder likes. Let's see what the builder likes. Kind of sneaky right there. Kowser, Vargas, and Jr. Hot bats. Cattell, Jr., Luis Garcia. Those are some hot bats. Matchup edge, Rice Jr., Kowser, Zone Master, Caminero, Alonso, and Soto. All right. Those are like the top. But if we were to go game by game, what are some of the favorite games we have today? Well, there it is again. Is that a sign? Is this a sign? Well, there it is again. Did that just be the community lay? Poll is live. Yo, Angelo Danny with the tier 1 3-month in advance. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Poll is live. Only 8 people are voting. It's kind of funny. If we did a full vote, it probably ends up being this one again, which would be hilarious. This play is talking to me right now. I hear whispers. Things whispering in my ear. What do you think about this format? Garcia, Colson, Lindor, Jordan. Not bad. What did Randy Orton say? I don't even know. What did Randy Orton say? Whoops. Thing is whispering to me. Yeah, that shit's hitting. That shit's hitting. Damn, Taj. Get out of your feels. I hear voices in my head. Is that what Randy Orton said? Let's just redo this. I do want to see Minnesota, New York, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Miami, Pittsburgh, Washington. All these games are pretty even, though. Pretty much all these games are really even. Holy cow. Damn near every song. Did I say every song? I meant every game. I was reading. Okay. Oof. No, Bieber, I'm not in the mood, man. Going back to 303, man. Playing it again. We're leaving with this one. Devers, Casey Bell. Mm. Yeah. Get rid of this game. Garcia and Devers are popping up everywhere, by the way. Garcia and Devers are popping up everywhere. Devers is on everything. Devers is everywhere. Yeah, I said we're leaving with this song. All right. We got ourselves a day. I feel pretty good about it. I appreciate y'all. Let's send this off. Streaming tomorrow. Yes, 4th of July. I will be streaming same time as usual. Don't worry about me. I'll be here bright and early. I posted the watch list in the WAP already. I did post a watch list in the WAP. So if y'all joined the site, you get access to the WAP. You'll get access to that full watch list right there. I'll scroll it one more time. We'll scroll it one more time. I gotta find a way to get like. Well, I think my 2-man long shot is gonna be Lucas and Guzman. This is my long shot play right here. This 2-man. But I gotta find a way to get Yelly on there. Maybe a late night with Yelly and Mookie. Yelly and Mookie. All right. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Stay safe tonight if you're going out. Make sure you're here around 9 or 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. Wake up early. It's gonna be another banger of a day for the 4th of July. I'll see you tomorrow.